I have already interviewed you before. I think it was 2 years ago. Anyway, but anyway, so it's been 6 months now since you won Binibining Philippines International. So how has been the journey?
Well, as we all know, Miss International was postponed. We still don't have a date yet, actually, but it will be next year. So, compared to my Binibining sisters that already competed, as soon as they won, they really had to go straight into their preparations. But for me, it turned into a blessing that I was able to focus on my advocacies more. So, I was able to do so many speeches with the Department of Science and Technology because as a science graduate, that's really what I want us to push for, more investment in science.
Something really close to your heart.
Yes, and then I also became an ambassador for Love Yourself PH. So HIV awareness, mental health, especially with the pandemic. So I haven't physically done anything with them yet, but we've been doing a lot of meetings and I've been learning so much because honestly I didn't know much about HIV yet. So I'm so lucky that with the postponement I was able to immerse myself more in the communities. So when I do go and compete, for those who aren't aware of Miss International, there is a speech that you can do and most girls speak about themselves, but I think now with what I went through the past 6 months I can bring the story of the Philippines, of the communities with me in that speech.
You'll be armed with the experience you have.
Yes.
I know that a lot of your co-binibinis have already won the title. Don't you feel a little pressured about, bringing home the Miss International crown?
Honestly, when Cindy and Maureen won, I was so excited. I was crying, but then I wasn't sure if those tears were because I was suddenly pressured or I was just so happy for them. Both Sam and I felt that. That's why we kind of became closer because we were bonding. We were saying we have to do this. They've made everyone so proud. We hope we can do that too. And although Sam didn't walk away with the title, she's definitely brought so much pride to the Philippines. So I hope that no matter what happens with me, if I come back with the crown or not, everyone will still be proud of what I did there in Miss International. So for now, I'm just going to enjoy it and try not to let the pressure get to me.
So you're not impatient at all?
Actually, a little bit more so that I just want to go.
Excited.
Yes, I want to go meet the other candidates from around the world because we've had a group chat for they've had it for a year now because they were all crowned way before me.
Yeah.
So we're all just like, when can we meet? so now we have some dates soon.
In terms of your preparation, you've mentioned earlier that you've immersed yourself with the advocacies that you're really passionate about. But in terms of your training, of course, the pasarela and all, how has everything going?
Yes, so like I said, the Miss International will be held in Japan, so I do need to touch up on my Japanese. I did study it for 5 years actually in high school, so when I do see some of the writings and characters, I do remember, but I do want to make sure that I know enough that I can really communicate with the organization and show them that I'm really willing to learn a lot. So I have been practicing, but definitely in the new year I'll definitely get stricter with my Japanese training. And then definitely pasarela, so the catwalk, diet, I haven't really been dieting and it was just Christmas. So again, in the new year, like everyone else, I will start my diet. And yeah, there's no Q&A there in Miss International, so just preparing that speech that will represent everyone.
So everything is already prepared?
Kind of. For my evening gown, national costume, there's nothing set in stone just yet. It's not made yet, but I do have a lot of mood boards going on.
So you're very involved in everything that you're going to wear during
because like you said, you met me before when I joined Binibining Pilipinas. So I joined in 2019, and back then I wasn't so hands-on. But what I enjoyed this time around was that I really had a say in everything. So I want that also when I go and represent the Philippines.
Now, of course, you won during the pandemic, and there are so many struggles, not just with not just your personal own struggles, but also with the girls. What's your biggest takeaway from joining Binibini and eventually winning the crown?
The biggest takeaway would be the friendships.
Mhm.
Honestly, because we were not the youngest, the longest batch of candidates. So we became candidates at the start of 2020, and then imagine it was a year and a half later we finally competed. So the thing that I realized is it doesn't matter how long you know someone to count that as a good friendship. These girls we only knew each other for a short amount of time, but they've really become my best friends. They really helped me get through the pandemic. I spoke to them every single day, and that's what I really took away from it. I learned their stories, their backgrounds, their advocacies, and again, that's what I'm trying to bring with me as I wear this sash right now. I'm just very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm excited for BD to start again for next year, for those candidates to experience that same feeling that I felt.
Now, talking about the Miss International pageant, of course, it's going to happen in Japan. What's about the Japanese culture that that fascinates you the most?
Yes, so like I said, I did study it, so I did get to stay there for 2 weeks on a study student exchange back in 2012, and I did a homestay with a family. So for me, the lady reminded me of my Lola, and she was very caring, and I just saw the similarity with us, that you feel like everyone is related, like your family, and they're just so respectful on public transport. I was so amazed by that, on the bullet train, everyone's like very organized. Obviously that was a few years ago, so I'm not sure now how they're going with the pandemic and everything, but so far the staff from Miss International themselves, they've been very kind and respectful, so I know that yes, everyone there will be the same.
And now, Binibining Pilipinas is collaborating with the Philippine Red Cross in helping our kababayan who are affected by the typhoon. Now, earlier you gave a message to the people who are affected, but what's your personal message to those people who are really struggling right now because of the typhoon?
Honestly, it's so hard to even imagine what they're going through. I've only seen the videos and pictures from the people that have gone to help, and we don't know if they've reached all the communities just yet. We don't know if they've found the worst hit places, because these places don't have the signal or the electricity at the moment. But my message to those that if they can hear this message is just know that yes, there is the Philippine Red Cross that's working very hard to come and help you with exactly what you need, which is the drinking water, to rebuild your homes and make them stronger, build back better and stronger, so that unfortunately if another typhoon does come through again, you will be safer, and we will be here helping you rebuild. And it's hard to use the word hope now, especially during the pandemic. We've said it so much, but I do hope that they don't lose that hope. Yes, and us in Binibining Pilipinas and Philippine Red Cross, we're here for you, and hopefully soon we can physically go and visit you.
And for my final question, because you're going to compete next year in the Miss International, how are you going to represent the Philippines?
Well, besides from the national costume, which obviously is by a Filipino designer, it will represent the Philippine culture. I'm just going to be myself, and I hope that they appreciate that. And being myself is showing all those values that my parents taught me, my grandparents taught me, my relatives here in the Philippines, even my neighbors, they teach me things. So again, through my advocacies, through everything, immersing myself in the community, I'm going to be representing those people, their stories, and I just hope that everyone appreciates the genuine soul that I have as a Filipina. Although I may not sound exactly like a Filipino or look exactly like a Filipina, I definitely am by heart. So I'm very excited to go to Miss International.
Thank you, Hannah, and congratulations in advance. And of course,
and Happy New Year.
thank you.